Good morning once again, Alfred here. It's for Kati Avenue, different kind of setting. I'm outside here, Dar es Salaam, and it's a beautiful, beautiful morning, 6 a.m. to be exact, and almost, in fact, it's past daybreak, and the sun is about to rise. As you can see, behind me it's a bit darkish, right? So it's kind of daybreak for now. Anyway, today's video, right now, I want to talk about competition. As a man, we all know that competition or competing in whatever aspect of life is very important. And so competition, why it's important, and what kind of person should be competing in what category in life, in their aspect of life. What do I mean? I came to a conclusion that there are two separate competitive aspect of a man when it comes to motivation and reason to compete. Mostly we compete against each other, right? We compete for a prize, for whatever thing that we may desire, may want, or even we compete for what others may want or desire too. So for most love, this type of competing, this competitive edge, whereby we compete for a prize, whatever prize, it depends on the society you live in. Some may compete for money, some may compete for even something as you may think like a cow, compete for women, for a maiden, a girl, a virgin, for a car, whatever it is. It's something that we usually, in fact, in our lives, we're always competing for something. Now, there are those who are competitive by nature, right? They're very competitive. In fact, all men, I guess, are very competitive. But it's just that a lot of them, or a lot of us, especially these days and age, is that we're not willing to compete for something that really does not motivate us or inspire us. So we tend to take ourselves from the competitive nature of things, or competitive things, right? Whether it's games, athletic games, business, even competing for women, whatever type of competitive arena there is, right? You see see that the back, the sun is almost rising. It's rising, and it's really, really, really nice. And you can see how it's becoming a bit bluish. Yeah. Anyway, back to our topic. So you have those. We can see as we watch our games, right? Whether it's basketball, it's football, soccer, whatever, right? These men are competing. Yes, we have our women, but I'll be more on the men side, and talk about our nature more, right? These men now will be competing to get the prize, whatever prize. Maybe at the end of the season, you get a cup, you get a big prize, you get your cash, you get your bonuses. Whether in your corporate environment, you get your bonuses. You get your raises. If you're in the streets hustling, you gotta compete for attention, right? you gotta compete for that attention because you're selling something. You really cannot sell something without attention. It's very tough in this very competitive world right now, because you're competing against plenty of enterprises, right, who also want the very same want to sell the very same things that you are selling, unless you're selling a very, very unique product, which is very rare nowadays. People are reselling, or either people are recycling things, or people are reinventing things to sell. So that needs you to be very witty in order to sell whatever goods that you may be having. So you're competing for attention. In fact, we are all competing for attention, and you need a unique selling point, right? It's not enough just to compete nowadays. It's also, you need more than that, right? Because in order to attract things, in order to attract the money that you want, attract maybe if you're an athlete, you may be getting millions, but you still want sponsors, you still want endorsements. So yes, your hard work, your competitive nature, your hard work will show, like that will bring you the endorsements, and then will bring you everything else. But that's if you are willing and to go all out and work hard and do that, all that, right? Now, the other aspect is not competing with others. All this I was talking about before this was competing with others, right? Then you have those who, kind of like me, it's not that I'm not competitive, but I'm not really willing to compete for a given prize, because unless I really want that prize, or I'm not also willing to compete for just anything that is put in front of me, right? But I can compete with myself. I can compete with who I was yesterday. So usually I put myself on that category, that I compete with who I was yesterday, who I've been, and it means that I have to be better than what or who I was yesterday, right? Which is tough. As much as you may think that competing with yourself is easy, it may be a bit tougher, because you don't know what prize. You know what you want, but you really don't know if you're gonna get it or not, or you don't know how close you are to getting what you are competing yourself against to get. I hope that is a bit understandable. But competing against yourself is basically being better, than who you are. At least last year, you shouldn't be in the same place, whether mentally, physically, or financially, right? If you're going to if you are going to be a business person or a business owner, right, entrepreneur or something, you should obviously have higher targets, right, for your business. You can't be making, like, maybe let's say you're making a 200K last year, and then all of a sudden this year, with all that corona and all that, you're doing 150 maybe. Yeah, that can happen, but your aim and your target shouldn't be that. Your aim should be 250K to maybe 300K or whatever, but it must be an upscale, right? It shouldn't be the same amount. It shouldn't be a low amount, unless things that were never seen coming, like for example, like I said, this COVID, some natural disaster, something that became unpredictable. Competing with yourself, and that's just the beginning, and that's the basis of competition, and you being competitive. Once you're able to compete with yourself, right, then it's much easier to go out there and compete, because if you compete with yourself, it means that you're self-improving, you're self-developing, to a matter of fact that where whereby now you are creating your own arena, your own lane, and that's the best competitive lane that you'll be in, because at the end of the day, creating your own lane means that it will be tougher for other people to come in there and just compete with you. They really need to prepare. They need to do what you have gone through, and you know what it takes to go through that, right? This is especially for those who are in a path which is less geared towards trying to conform to society, to conform to societal expectations. This way, once you create your own lane, then you're on your own competitive arena, so you don't need to go to other arenas. So you don't really need to go to, you don't really need to have a boss, or you don't really need to go to a platform which is already made, right? Unless there's a stepping stone, like this YouTube. It's a stepping stone. That's not where you're going to dwell at. That's not where you're. This is where you are honing your skills. YouTube, the Vimeos, the Instagrams. See, you're honing your skills. This is where you're honing your skills. There's no way you're competing, but you're in competition or for yourself, whereby you know that you're creating a certain lane that others may see. Okay, that's what he's doing is different. What he's trying to do is it's really different. When they try and do it, they find that it's not that easy, because you've created something else, something different, something totally different that the people can hardly duplicate, and it's hard for them to duplicate, right? So compete with yourself, even if you're about to go out there and compete in business where you're going to be competing with others. Make sure you're able to compete with yourself. That means knowing yourself, knowing your weaknesses, developing them, and developing your strengths, rather, developing your capacity to withstand all the obstacles that come with your journey, or your competitive platform that you've created, because that's your vision. That's where you're headed, and you are the one who's supposed to foresee whatever is coming. And those who try and compete in your arena now will now have to come to you for consultation, or to ask, hey, how do you do this? How can this be done? And it's up to you now. You can give them the secret of the trades. You can show them, or make them pay for it, but you'll be far ahead of the competition, and that's exactly what you want in life, to be far ahead of the competition in whatever lane you choose, even if it's a more mainstream lane, right? You're competing in a more competitive mainstream arena. You still have to work hard, and the thing is, if you're in the mainstream arena, the good thing is that you've got all these ready-made blueprints, right, that will help you get where you want, right? You've got coaches there, you've got the right people around you, you've got sponsors who are already there. But as you're creating something way different, it's tougher. So keep on doing it. If you're doing it, that's why people who usually do this, and they get the breakthrough, they become whatever they ever wanted to be. They become millionaires. They become the gurus that they are, because they took a very, very different path, and that was the path of competing with themselves, developing themselves, and doing better than what they were doing the previous day, the previous year, and just constantly improving. That's really competing with yourself. It's tough, but fulfilling at the end of the day. Anyway, my 15 minutes mark is almost done. Thank you for listening to this new YouTube setting of mine. I left my apartment because it's a bit too noisy, too much distraction, and when I try and do something, there's just too much distraction. I'm hoping this will be my new setting. Supposedly, if it doesn't rain, then I'll be definitely doing this, more of these here. Yeah, and try and keep them consistent, because I've been slacking a bit and I really have to compete with myself in that arena. Anyway, thanks for listening, YouTube. This has been Alfred. I hope this comes out good and clear, and what I can say is more knowledge to you. Peace.